Morning, everyone. So I just kind of want to come on here and kind of just talk for a second. You know, I was in the shower and God and Spirit were sort of talking to me to come live and to just sort of talk and share something with you guys. And I don't have the comments on, so if you're here, hello. I don't really know who's here. I can't see the comments because I really wanted to solely just concentrate on what it is that Spirit is really calling me to talk about today. You know, earlier this morning, I was, after doing my meditation and doing what I normally do every morning, someone that I love dearly started talking about how they didn't want to be here anymore and how they were just tired of fighting and wanting to give up. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you guys part of my story. Because what you guys see here, it isn't really, what most people see on social media is it's what people want you to see. There are only few things that people want you to see. They're not going to show you everything that's going on in their world or what's going on in their personal lives. It's one of the reasons why you can't judge people based off of what they post on social media, because it's a lie sometimes. Because not everyone can be open, can be authentic, and can be completely honest about what's going on in their world and in their life. And this morning, when I was really struck by what this individual in my life said, it hit a chord with me because I could completely and utterly resonate with this person. And I could understand the pain and the sorrow that this person felt. And not many people know this about me, because I usually try to live my life very openly and very authentically on social media. What you see is what you get with me. And if I don't openly share, it's usually because there's a lot of things in my personal life that I don't openly share about, because I feel it's part of my own growth and it's part of me discovering who I am and learning to be just me without labels or without people trying to put a label on me or expect certain things of me. And so what I want to share with you guys is that there have been 2 times in my life where I've thought about killing myself. And that's the God honest truth. But here's the thing, guys. No life is perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect life. There is no such thing as having a perfect family. It does not exist. And I think a lot of times we come in to our lives and we expect certain things. We expect them to be a certain way because media portrays it that way, right? it's so much easier for us to share all the good stuff than it is to share all the bad shit that happens. But the reality is that we all have struggles. We all have challenges. We're all faced with adversities that we have to learn to work through and persevere through. And I'll tell you that it was not my intention to come here today and share this part of my story. But I feel that Spirit is pulling me because maybe there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. Maybe somebody out there needs to really work through their own challenges and work through their own adversities. If you're close to me, you know that my life was anything but perfect. I was emotionally abused by my mother. I was abandoned and neglected by my father. I never truly had a good male figure in my life. And if I did, they wanted something from me. It was more like a, what can you give me? How are you going to pay for that? I want you to think about that. In my whole life, all I've ever really wanted was to be accepted and loved for who I was. And I have faced so much adversity and so much challenge for just being me. You know, people see what I do now because I do cards. And they automatically assume that I don't believe in God, that I don't pray. And they automatically believe that just because I don't go to church, that I don't have faith. And they assume that what I do is the work of the devil. And I will tell you that the me 10, 15 years ago would have taken that so hard. And I would have allowed that to hurt me so bad that I would have wanted to hurt myself more. You know, I never truly felt loved. Never in my life growing up. Because I always had this thing that was thrown in my face that I just wasn't good enough. How many of you out there have heard that? Feel that wholeheartedly, or have faced that in some point of your life? We all have experiences that are the same. We all do. And these challenges and these adversities that come up in our life come up for a reason. They don't just randomly show up just because. Life doesn't work against you. You have to learn how to work through life and learn to work with what life brings you. And you know, I was 19 years old. And I had just withdrawn from college. And I had to come back home. And what most people don't know is that I dreamed of going to college. I dreamed of going to college. I dreamed of wanting to become a nurse. And the main reason why I wanted that was because I wanted to get out of my home. I was miserable there. Miserable. And I did. I left. But the thing is that I had a very low depression sunk in like you would not even believe. To the point that I was failing school I hated my life. And I remember coming home, withdrawing, and feeling like a complete and utter failure in life. And I ended up going back to the one place that I did not want to be. Because my mom and I at that time did not have a good relationship. We were constantly at each other's throats. I never felt like I was good enough for her. And I don't say these things to hurt her. This is just my truth. I love my mother, and she and I have an amazing relationship, and I would never trade that in the world now. We've learned to work through our challenges. We've learned to work through our adversities. We've learned to love each other and hold space for each other where we both are. And I've learned to be a little bit more compassionate for where people are in their life. And at that time, when I came back home, I never shared with anybody what was really going on with me emotionally, mentally, why I was depressed, why I didn't want to be alive anymore. And what most people didn't know, and this was something I carried with me for 10 years, was that my boyfriend in high school literally effed me up. Emotionally, mentally, verbally, and sometimes physically. And he did something to me that I carried so much guilt and so much shame for so many years, that it prevented me from truly seeing anything happy or magnificent in my life. It prevented me from allowing people in to truly, genuinely love me, who cared for me. Because I started to believe that people only wanted to take from me. They didn't want me because they wanted me or because they loved me, but it was because they wanted something from me. And there was a moment when I was on my way home from work. I had just gotten my job at Texas Children's Hospital. 19. I was a receptionist. And I remember on my long way home, because back then I took public transportation. I remember on my long way home, I was having really bad thoughts. And I had decided I was going to do it. And I remember when I got home, my baby sister at the time came into my room. She sat on the corner of my bed. And she said, "I don't know why I need to tell you this, but I just want you to know that if you leave, I'm going to miss you very much." And I had to stop for a second. And I just sort of looked at her like, "What are you talking about?" And she just said, "I love you. And I don't want you to leave." And she gave me a hug. And it was in that moment that I could feel the presence of God in my sister. That moment saved my life. I haven't shared that story with very many people. But I knew that God was talking to me. I've always had keen, intuitive sense and abilities. I've run from it for years. But it was on that day that I made a promise and a commitment to listen, to pray, to listen to my gut instincts, my intuition. And I promised God that I would be genuinely me, without any expectations. But you see, God had different plans in store for me that I knew nothing about. Because when I turned 23, I told my family that I was in a relationship with a woman, with my best friend. And I was shunned. I was disowned. And my life and my world fell apart. That was the second time in my life where I wanted to end it all, because I couldn't see my life without my family. It was in that period of my life that I began my spiritual journey into different beliefs, different religions, trying to find what felt right in my heart. And that was when I truly started using my gift to help other people. We all have a purpose here. Yes, there will be people that will not accept you. There will be people that will shun you, that will not understand you. But you're not here for those people. You're here for the ones suffering in silence. You're here for the ones that need a voice. You're here for the ones that need the reassurance. No matter how insignificant you might feel your life is, know that it is so much more. Don't give up on yourself. Learn to take those challenges and those adversities and use them to help move you towards love. Life is not meant to be easy. You know, there was a period in my life where I fell into the martyr role and the victim role. And it was everybody else's fault that my life sucked, and that nobody loved me, and that everybody hated me, and no one accepted me. Don't do that. Don't be the martyr. Don't be the victim. Take back your power and your control and change your life. You have that capability and that power to change your life. You have to want it bad enough. The desire to change has to be so much greater than your desire to stay exactly where you are. How I got through my challenges and my adversities was, number one, I learned to accept myself for who I was. And I learned to love myself where I was. Did I learn it right away? Hell no. It took me years. Years. And that's okay. You're here to learn and to grow, and learning to love and accept yourself exactly as you are, where you are. You're not here to make other people happy. People have to learn to find their happiness within themselves. If you're not happy where your life is and you're not happy where you are, change. Move. Do something about it. You hold the key to your own salvation. And God and Spirit works with you. But you have to make the first move. You have to make that choice. I just hope that this message reaches the people that need it. If you have someone in your life that needs to hear this, I invite you to share. Don't give up on yourself. Know that you are loved. You are appreciated. And if you have people in your life that don't love you for who you are and they don't accept you, then get rid of them. You don't need those people in your life. Find the people that do love you. Find the people that love you unconditionally, because that is your tribe. Those are the people you need to be with. If you have people in your life that are sucking the life out of you, it's time to get rid of them and let them go. The greatest thing I could have ever done for myself was take a really long look at my life when I got hit by my third challenge in life. And if you've been my friend on here for a long time, you know that I post quite regularly. But in 2019, I went silent. And that's because I had to face some harsh realities. In 2019, I was faced with anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and the harsh reality that I was sexually abused as a child. I said it out loud. Imagine going your whole life not even knowing that that was there. And then all of a sudden, being blasted with memories that were hidden from you for years. I was in a lot better place, but emotionally and mentally, I felt like I was going crazy. So I had to take a step back. And I had to take care of me. And sometimes you have to do that in life. Sometimes you have to take a step back from the people that are around you. You have to evaluate where you are. And really ask yourself some deep questions about what you want out of life. Figure out what makes you happy. And it's why my life has changed. It's changed so drastically. Because I'm now living my life on my terms. I'm living my life because the way I'm living it, because it's what makes me happy. Yes, people think I'm crazy because I do cards, and because I give readings to people, and because I started a YouTube channel. But you know what? I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for all of the other people out in the world that are trying to find a light, that are trying to find hope, that are trying to find motivation and inspiration. They're seeking a change. That's why I do it. And I do it because this is who I am. And yes, I've lost a lot of people in my life. A lot of people I thought were real friends that weren't. And that's okay. Because I now have space for those people that truly, genuinely support me and love me to fill those spots. If there's anything that you take with you today, know that, number one, you would not be here. God would have not created you, and you would not be here if he didn't think you could handle what he gives you. You are made in the image of God and pure love. You have so much more power than you could possibly even imagine. You just have to be open to receiving it. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to, number one, accept yourself exactly as you are. You are perfectly imperfect for a reason. And it's okay. Start living life on your terms. Do things that you love to do because you love them and because it makes you happy. Don't give up on yourself. So if you're here and you're listening to this message, I thank you. I thank you for listening. And I hope and I pray that this message gets delivered to whoever needs to hear it. Because that was why I was called to do this today. You all are pure divine love, made in the image of divine unconditional love. Love yourself. Believe in yourself. Honor yourself. Have faith. Trust. I know it might look confusing, and I know it might look effed up, and it might seem like it's a dark road, but I promise you, every challenge and every adversity that you face in life brings you to pure divine happiness at the end. Everything happens for a reason. You might not understand it as you're going through it, but when you get through it, it'll make perfect sense. Why? I love you all, and I hope you all have an amazing day full of love, joy, and happiness. Namaste, guys.